The morning show starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news this morning, one person is dead after a crash on I-95 near Goldfell Boulevard. This is footage from the scene early this morning captured by DOT cameras. As you can see, the incident caused traffic issues for hours on the interstate.
News4JAX reporter Brittany Moeller joins us live from the mobile newsroom. Brittany, what is the scene looking like this morning?
All right, Brittany, thank you very much. And thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Joe McLean.
And I'm Ashley Harding. We're sitting in for Zach and Jennifer this morning. We want to wish, first and foremost, all mothers a happy Mother's Day. And we hope you get to enjoy some great weather this morning.
And speaking of weather, today is the first day of Hurricane Preparedness Week. Hurricane season, of course, is less than a month away. So every day this week, we're going to be making sure you are prepared.
And today's theme is Determine Your Risk. You hear that right? Determine your risk. So Danielle's going to join us live. Danielle, the countdown is on.
Happening overnight, a successful mission as SpaceX launched its Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral.
You know, Joe, this marks the company's 14th mission so far this year. And for the first time, SpaceX sent this Falcon 9 rocket booster on its 10th flight. So by reusing boosters, SpaceX plans to make its rocket launches more affordable.
60 Starlink satellites are now in space. They're going to eventually provide high-speed internet access to users around the world. Meanwhile, NASA's rocket launch that was scheduled for last night is now expected to happen tonight. It's taking off from the agency's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia, but it should be visible from Jacksonville. Take a look at this map here. Not only should you be able to see the blast off from most of the East Coast, but the experiment it performs may produce high energy auroras in the sky. So you're going to want to make sure to look northeast in the sky at 8 tonight, just minutes after 8, about 8:03 is when that launch is supposed to happen. And if you snap a pic, send it to us. We want to see that. You can send that to us by going to news4jax.com/snapjacks. You might even see your photo on the air.
And starting tomorrow, Publix locations in Florida and Georgia will begin accepting walk-ins for COVID-19 vaccines. Publix offers the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines, which right now are only available to those 18 and older. You can still make appointments through their online reservation system. You'll find that link on our website, news4jax.com.
There's actually a drop in demand for COVID-19 vaccines across the country and right here in Duval County. CDC data shows about a third of the population is fully vaccinated, but experts say it's not enough to reach that herd immunity. The agency is now tracking data by race, by age, and by county. Now, of those who have been fully vaccinated, 29.5% are American Indian or Alaskan natives, 23.7% are white, around 19% are Asians and Native Hawaiians, 15% are black, 13% are Hispanic. You can check out these numbers and find out the latest about vaccinations by signing up for our coronavirus newsletter. You can do that by going to news4jax.com/newsletters. A lot of great information there.
And covering Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp is expected to sign a bill to repeal the state's citizens arrest law. That'll happen tomorrow. That law allowed residents to arrest anyone they suspected of committing a crime. Now, it came under scrutiny after the death of Ahmaud Arbery last year. The new bill would end the right of people to make an arrest if a crime is committed in the person's presence or within their immediate knowledge. It also prevents people from using deadly force to detain someone unless it is self-defense or protecting your home.
The I-Team's investigation into a mice infestation at the Hilltop Village Apartments in Northwest Jacksonville continues to get results for tenants. And if you haven't seen our previous coverage on this, you want to go to news4jax.com and look at that. This week, the Department of Housing and Urban Development will be inspecting the property. The Northwest Jacksonville apartments were supposed to be inspected in 2017, but they weren't. The team for Congressman Al Lawson met with residents yesterday. Residents tell News4Jax that the meeting was about them moving into alternative housing while the apartments are fumigated. Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry sent out this statement saying, as this is a federally and state-funded housing complex in Representative Lawson's district, we are confident he will be able to locate temporary assistance for the state and federal level, at the state and federal level, while we perform the roles we are tasked code compliance.
And now to another follow. Starting tomorrow, the advisory committees at 4 Duval County schools will cast votes on whether to replace the building's controversial names. Robert E. Lee High School, Andrew Jackson High, Ribault High, and Ribault Middle Schools are all up for a name change, along with 5 others. The votes will be counted on Thursday, and principals will then meet with regional leaders to discuss the results, which will then be handed over to Superintendent Dr. Diana Green on May 17th. Green will turn in her recommendations to the school board, and then the school board will have the final say.
And in national news this morning, 3 onlookers, including a 4-year-old girl, are in the hospital after a shooting in New York City's Times Square. Officers say the little girl and a woman were both shot in the leg, another woman shot in the foot. Witnesses say the shooting started after a fight involving 2 to 4 men. At least one of them had a gun. Now, police are looking for the suspects, including this person. Take a look. This person, who they say is possibly connected. Authorities did not find a gun, but they did find shell casings at the scene. That 4-year-old underwent surgery at the hospital last night. All 3, fortunately, they're expected to be okay.
And a travel warning is now in place for India as the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise. The CDC issued a level 4 travel health notice for India, meaning non-immigrant travelers who have been in India cannot enter the U.S. This does not impact U.S. citizens or immigrants. India is now ranked number 2 for the most cases in the world. The country reported more than 1,400 deaths over a 24-hour period, which is the highest number since the beginning of the pandemic. Parts of the country are under lockdown as officials work to come up with a way to fight the surge. And Pope Francis is backing up President Joe Biden on waiving patents for COVID-19 vaccines. According to the Vatican's official news site, the Pope called for universal access to vaccines and the temporary suspension of intellectual property rights in a video message for the Vax Live benefit concert. He also urged the world not to forget the most vulnerable in the face of the pandemic. The Vax Live concert called on world leaders to step up for equitable distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine.
And the FDA could authorize emergency use of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 12 to 15 this week. That clinical trial shows the shot is 100%. That's 100% effective for that age group. Officials say the vaccine is, if the vaccine is approved, it could also be available to children younger than 12 sometime this fall. Pediatricians say they hope this timeline holds up.
I think in the pediatric community, we're all really hopeful that this happens before the start of the next school year, because vaccination would be a really great additional preventative measure that we can use in schools to help keep our kids and teachers.
If and when the FDA does give its authorization, the CDC would meet to discuss whether to recommend the shot for 12 to 15-year-olds. Moderna, meanwhile, expects results for its vaccine for those 12 to 17 by the middle of this year.
And get this, Joe, across the U.S., demand for the vaccine is declining. From South Carolina to Washington, states are requesting only a fraction of what's been allocated to them. More than 150 million Americans, so that's about 57% of the adult population, have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine. The president says if states don't order all the shots they have been allotted, the vaccines will be given to other states. Many health officials are pushing to cut down on vaccine hesitancy because they're concerned about a possible surge this winter.
I think boosters are going to be a reality, whether that is that once a year like the flu vaccine.
And President Biden hopes 70% of all adult Americans will be vaccinated by July 4th. So federal officials are now expanding vaccination clinics to hard-to-reach communities.
Well, it's the final day for the St. Augustine Food and Wine Festival. Arts, beverages, and culture have been highlighted in the nation's oldest city since Thursday. Some of the world's top chefs turned out for this event. It wraps up this morning with a jazz brunch. Tickets are sold out, of course. Otherwise, Ashley, you and I would probably be there instead of anchoring this broadcast. But again, there's always next year, I guess.
I was going to say, it's always fun. Again, today kicks off Hurricane Preparedness Week. Still to come, Danielle walks us through the important steps to make sure you are ready to weather the storm.
And just when you thought you were in the clear from ever having to stock up on toilet paper again?
Oh, no.
Up next, the one reason it could soon cost you more. It's 7:10 on your Sunday. I'm Joe McLean. Thanks for watching Channel 4. Stay with us.